But his time has expired. I call Shane Arden.
Mr Speaker, I rise in support, proudly on behalf of the National Party, in support of the Animal Welfare Amendment Bill. And can I say to you, Mr Speaker, I fear that it's only just arrived in time, because when you listen to the contribution from the Honourable Damien O'Connor on the other side there, supporting the bill, but dancing on the head of a pin trying to find something wrong with it, very annoyed in the fact that the national government has come up with another $8 million to put towards $8.2 million to put to animal welfare, then I suspect that there's some cruelty to animals going on the other side of the House that this bill may protect, and suspect that someone may need to pull this bill out to help Trevor out in some days to come in the future. Mr Speaker, the Select Committee did give due consideration to this bill and identified some issues with it, and I thank the committee for their diligent work in that regard. They did work through it in a very sensible and timely way. As the Minister said, we did hear submissions from a wide-ranging and wide group of people that had concerns in this area, and in particular the SPCA, which haven't always, I guess you could say, been friends of the government, but they always have been, I guess, at their heart, caring towards animals. And I'd just like to make reference to the National President, Bob Kerridge's comments when he said the government has made it clear right from the word go, right from the time that the national government was elected, that something needed to be done to strengthen the law around the protection of animals, particularly in regard to some of the heinous cases that we've seen with high profile recently. Excuse me, Mr Speaker. So Mr Kerridge said that he thought that the extra funding was a wonderful addition, and he thought that this would help substantially in terms of protection of animals. The issue that the committee raised, which would have, in my view, potentially have created some confusion, was the issue around the clarity of ownership, that is in regard to forfeiture. I could foresee a circumstance where absentee owners of farms, or even syndicate owners of farms like perhaps the Honourable Damien O'Connor, I'm not sure whether he still has an interest in the family farm, or others such as myself, where we would be here in Wellington, of course, involved in the work that we're elected to do, and animals potentially could be suffering on properties that we may or may not be involved with, and we could end up being, I guess, victims of poor management. And all of this, of course, was pretty hypothetical because it may or may not have happened, but we felt the law needed to be clarified in that area. So changes were made, Mr Speaker, to Clause 7, in particular Section 169 of the Act, replacing having custody of with owning or exercising authority in respect of animals, in regard to someone that was being pursued by the law as far as animal welfare goes. And that was a sensible change. The Select Committee received 17 submissions, and like I said, they were from a wide range of people. The Federated Farmers made an interesting observation in this process and said that as far as they were concerned, the penalties were about right. They suggested that unless proper enforcement was carried out, and they had anxiety about that, then of course the bill would have no effect. So to that end, of course, the government has come out with more MAF inspectors, and as I said earlier on, Mr Speaker, another $8.2 million to support that work. So all in all, I think that the bill, which started off as a members' bill, was adopted by the government and now has been put through this Primary Production Select Committee process, brought to the Parliament, potentially will bring about some substantial and well overdue changes to the way that animal welfare is treated in this country. Mr Speaker.
Well done. Lucy will be happy.
I call